Just before the gremlins attacked us, I did hear some baboons calling, and I thought that they maybe had seen Tumba. Now, they could have still, because they were in the area where Tumba was last seen, but that's not the surprise that we've got to show you this afternoon. So let's take a look towards Twin Dams, and look who's laying. So there's lots of vehicles in the sighting with us. It's just laying. You should see him quite easily. No long grass anymore, which is another surprise. I actually cannot believe it, how the vegetation has changed. Now, he hasn't lifted his head just yet. It's quite difficult to say, but it looks like he's got that sort of swollen face that's quite typical with Mfumo. And also his mane doesn't seem to be very dark. Now, we know Tinyo has got quite a dark mane, and so does Nsuku and Nena. So I wonder if it isn't Mfumo. The last time I saw him, he was battered up and bruised. So it's quite difficult to tell from this angle. But you're welcome to help me out. You're all so great, of course, at identifying the cats. You can hashtag Safari Live with who you think it may be. But very windy, you can see. And as Tristan says, this wind is definitely going to have an effect on the animal's behavior. But it should work in the favor of the predators today. So hopefully, even though it is quite warm, we might see some action. Maybe they'll get up and on the move. All the herbivores and things are going to be hiding away. They won't be out in the open. They'll be hanging around on the drainage lines, not just for food again, but for shelter. And I think that the Mulwati would be a very, very good place for the various predators to hunt today. Under on his chest, and that's an area that we can't see at the moment. But look at that beautiful tawny colour. Oh. Cool, thanks Chantal. Are we live again? We're still live. Okay, sorry about that everybody. It seems as though what's happening today is it is gremlins. However, I'm not surprised as to the gremlins that are attacking us. It's the wind gremlins. So you get different subspecies of gremlins out here. Sometimes they're rain gremlins, but the wind gremlins are particularly the worst ones. So I do apologize. It might happen throughout the day. Hopefully, the wind has been blowing for most of the day, so it should start to die out. But there is a big cold front that has hit South Africa at the moment, and I think we're going to feel the sort of force of it by tomorrow. There's already an icy feeling in the wind. Yesterday was a hot berg wind, and now it's starting to change. So I think it's going to be exceptionally cold tomorrow morning. My mum said that at about 9-10 o'clock today, it was about 7 degrees. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but that's really, really cold for so late in the morning. Tristan and I and Senzo and Seb might have to get all wrapped up. That's actually quite funny. I've just realized that both of us now, we're the TS or the ST team. Both of us. It's quite cool. No more trailer. We're changing our names. Chantal, has there been any confirmation as to if this is informal? I know it's a very difficult angle for us to, of course, identify 100%. Okay. So you can help me guess. But he's probably going to relax. He obviously wasn't here this morning, so he's been moving around throughout the day. Or maybe just after game drive, or perhaps he was just laying in the shade of a tree somewhere and decided to come down for a drink. And the spot that he's laying is actually quite a nice area. He's sort of sheltered. Well, his mane is blowing quite a bit, but I think it's a fairly good spot, laying quite low to the ground. I'm trying to think. I probably would have chosen a better spot to lay though. Snazzy, you said something about him being a strawberry blonde. Perhaps he is the ginger of the lions if it is informal. Like I said, he never sort of... I don't know what I'm trying to say. The wind is also taking my words away. But I don't think he's going to have a particularly dark mane like the rest of the coalition members have. But again, it could be just because he's quite young. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You know, it's like with us as humans. We don't all mature at the exact same age, and the same thing goes for lions. You might find that some mature quicker than others. Maybe some of their manes take a little bit longer to grow too. Remember, Mfumo was quite big in body size. If it is him, I could be completely mistaken. So we shall just refer to him as one of the Birmingham boys until we can figure out who he is. It'd be quite nice if he does sit up. Craig, you say that it's Mufasa. Well, I wish. Then we need a deep voice. What does Mufasa say? Come on, Senzo, give us a line. The line, okay, Senzo can't think of a Mufasa line, and neither can I. But if Chantal or Alice think of one, they can tell me, and then I'll try and do it. And wasn't it Earl James Jones that was the voice of Mufasa? Oh my gosh, Chantal, you're fantastic. Everything the light touches is our kingdom, Simba. There we go. Right, for those of you who have only just joined us for the first time, I'm a little bit silly, so you're going to have to put up with me, I'm afraid. Everyone just told me to be quiet, and I promise I'll be quiet. Oh, come on, Lion, this is perfect hunting condition. I saw some zebras not too far away from here that I think you would find particularly tasty. And I think that's probably the way that he's going to go. And the wind is blowing southeasterly today, so that's quite nice. So essentially, he's directly downwind from all those warthogs, from those zebra. I'm sure there'll be kudu moving in and out of the thickets too, and that's going to be great for him. So once he decides to wake up, hopefully he'll go in a northerly direction from where he is now, and not particularly far. I reckon as the crow flies, and the route that a lion would walk, unless he was marking his territory, then they seem to stick along the roads. There's certain spots that they like to mark. He'll probably get there within 5 minutes. It's only a couple of 100 meters away. I mean, it took us fairly quickly to get here, and I promise I was not on a Ferrari safari either. We were in the area searching for Tumba, so we were bound to bump into him at some point. But big paws, powerful legs, a belly that doesn't seem to be too empty. Nsuku. Okay. Oh, okay. So Tristan and a lot of you are saying it's Nsuku. Okay, that's quite interesting. I haven't seen Nsuku for months. I can't actually even recall the last sighting that I have had of Nsuku, or even of Anena. I've only been seeing Tinyo and Mfumo for the last couple of months or so. Had some great sightings with him, so that's quite interesting. I thought his mane was a lot darker, but perhaps it's like I said, maybe it's his chest that's quite dark, and I just can't see it because, well, he's laying down. It's about half of their face on the floor. But we'll, of course, confirm it when he stands up. And if it is Nsuku, we'll see his beautiful golden eyes, and also he seems to be the most mature. He's actually got a couple of scratches on him. Now, out of them all, Nsuku seemed to be the lion that had the least scratches on his face. Nena has, of course, the equal sign on his nose, and then, well, Tinyo and Mfumo just take the cake when it comes to being battered and bruised, sort of what we typically think male lions should look like. So he's obviously been scrapping, but those little cuts that you can see in his face, that could come from a female, getting too excited, and the female saying just back off, a swipe to the face. The same thing goes, a sort of an altercation around the carcass with one of his coalition members could sort of cause exactly the same, but nothing too serious, just little scratches, and they heal fairly quickly. He does have a big mane though. I reckon if I was a lion, I'd probably be Nsuku with my mane too. He's a lovely boy. Now, I wonder where the rest of the Birminghams are. Tristan said something about them being closer towards Buffelshoek boundary. And he said that he's seen 3 out of the 4 Birminghams. I didn't, unfortunately, get to chat to Tristan for a long time before we went on drive this afternoon. We'll obviously do a lot of the catching up tonight around dinner, and I'll find out exactly what the animals have been up to. And this is the hardest part, is when you go away. Obviously, I try and follow, and I read all your tweets, and I check the screenshots to see what has been happening on drive. Very difficult, of course, though, to try and pick up once you get back to work. So it might take me a couple of days to remember exactly what goes on here. Now, remember, this is live and this is interactive, and we'd love to hear from you, both myself and Tristan. So you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter with any questions that you have. It doesn't necessarily have to be about lions. Perhaps you want to know a little bit more about the weather. Maybe we'll do a test on how fast the wind is blowing today with leaves. No, I don't know. That's ridiculous. We won't be doing that. But it's also good to see that the watering holes have got a fair amount of water in. Well, this is the first one I've actually seen. So I suppose that's not an accurate description, because it does look like WildEarthTV Dam or Gari Dam is drying up quite a bit. But Twin Dams is holding water quite a bit, which is good. Now, Roshni, you're wondering if I'd want this lion to be Nena. Well, I have to be honest, Roshni. Nena is my favourite lion of the Birminghams. We shouldn't have favourites, but of course we all do. We all get these special bonds with these amazing creatures that we're fortunate to see every single day. Well, in the lion's case, they've only really just come back in the last couple of weeks. That's all right, better late than never. And I quite like him. I haven't spent a lot of time with Nsuku. Why do I want to say Nsuku like with an O at the end? It's not. It's N, and then it ends with a U, not an O. Sorry about that. Apparently even I've forgotten how to speak the local language. But I need to get to know this boy. I have seen him only about 2 or 3 times, and once he was fast asleep, I remember on just close to Vuyatela, and the other 2 times were quite sort of brief sightings of him. So it'll be good to get to know his personality. Now, it does sound silly when I say, oh, how can a lion have a personality? But they do. Just like you and I do. Every single animal out here is an individual, and some are more tolerant than others. We see it with Mfumo and Tinyo. They seem to be the fighters. They are constantly scrapping with one another, and, well, the lionesses. We've seen it actually many different times, especially last year, and hopefully we'll start to see those types of sightings again. We're still waiting for the buffalo to come back. There's now almost no grass left in the open areas, so I don't really know what is going on with the buffalo. They were due back quite some time ago. They're exceptionally late, and I suppose that they're going to find themselves in quite a bit of trouble when they come back, in the terms a lot from Tristan and I, but of course, from the lions that are on the property at the moment. Now, I believe there's quite a few of you that are concerned about this lion's health. I can promise you right now, you don't have to worry about him. If anything, lions are extremely resilient. They're so tough. They really tackle anything that comes their way with all 4 paws and claws out. So don't worry about him. This is typical behavior of not just a male lion, but all lions. It's very important for predators to conserve energy. Now, they don't want to spend their time running around and playing and chasing after antelope all day long, because when it comes down to potentially making a successful hunt, if they've exhausted all their energy, well, that's no good now, is it? So they can sleep for up to 18, 20 hours a day, and that's typically what they will do, especially after they have just made a kill. They're exhausted once they've brought an animal down. They've also gorged themselves full of food, so they need to catch their breath. So they will relax, and you might find, because it's cooling down so quickly, he's actually enjoying the warmth of the sun. That's why he's laying out in the open like this. And it's, that's, it sounded like we had a squeaky door. It was just the bowl of the camera. But it's, of course, it's very important for these cats to rest like this. He wouldn't be laying out in the sun if he was hot. Like I said, I've started the drive off with my puffer jacket, and most days I wear long sleeves all the time, so I'm normally a little bit warmer than the other presenters. It's nippy. Senzel's got his windbreaker on already. There's definitely a bit of ice in the air. I know there's lots of snow on the Lesotho mountains, so that could also be coming off like that, and he's enjoying this. It's basically the morning 10 o'clock sun, that we all want to fall asleep in. It's exactly what he's doing. He'll probably be having a quick cat nap, and well, maybe he'll go and have a drink. Probably not. They don't need to drink all the time. And off he'll go, probably on a territorial patrol, or perhaps looking for something to eat. Now, I heard sort of whispers in the wind, well, actually not whispers, howls in the wind, because it's so windy today, that Tristan was in the Mulwati. Perhaps he's looking for the sticks, or maybe Tumba. Let's go across and find out. I haven't quite decided what I'm exactly going to do this afternoon. I'd love to spend the whole day with Nsuku so I can get to know him a little bit better, but I feel like there's so many other animals on the property that I could potentially show you or could potentially find. Now, it's funny how our plans sort of changed, because I was initially looking for Tumba, and I'd seen some of his tracks, and I'd also seen the baboon tracks. So I was coming down towards Twin Downs because that's the way the baboon tracks were going, and I thought maybe they chased him. And then Aubrey had spotted the lions, so Tristan was actually going to look for lions, so we swapped roles today. But I know Tristan is a huge fan of the spotted cats, and I am more of a lion girl, though I love all the animals out here. There's also been a lot of chatter of Franklins a little bit east from where I am. I reckon it's probably the Styx Pride that is causing all of that havoc. I know Aubrey's gone to inspect, so he will let us know. That could be another area that Nsuku potentially goes for, is sort of east from where we are now. And he's known to sort of hang around the Styx Pride quite a bit. That's his favourite pride. By the looks of it, he seems to mate. When I say lazy, I mean that I have yet to see this male participating in a hunt. Now, of course, it's a huge myth that male lions don't hunt. That's nonsense. We have all seen, if you've been watching the show for long enough, many times where just the male lions have taken down large prey, such as buffalo, and really they're capable of taking down anything. But I've never seen him, and I haven't heard of many people saying, "Oh yeah, we watched the Styx Pride take down the lions, and Nsuku was there, and oh my goodness, he helped pull the buffalo to the ground." The things that I have heard are, "Oh my goodness, we watched the Styx Pride pull down a buffalo, and then Nsuku came in and chased everyone off and fed on the buffalo." That's what I normally hear about him. Whereas Tenyo and Mfumo and Nana, are very much involved and seem to not worry about getting their hands dirty and using their brute force, which is necessary when bringing down a large prey species. So, Nsuku, I'm open to you proving me wrong today. Show me that you are not the laziest Birmingham boy. But we'll see what he gets up to. We'll stay here for a little bit longer. I'm hoping now that it's getting colder, he'll get up. But let's go across to Tumba. He's finished his fast food and he's on the move. Couldn't be more true, Tristan. You know, I love going home. I get to see my mom and my dad and my younger brother. It's so fantastic. However, this is my real home, isn't it? I belong in the bush. I'm not quite a city girl. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be, even though it is a sleeping cat, even just trying to remember what birds are, what calling in the distance. It sounds really silly, but I promise you, your senses are completely sort of dulled when you go into the city. My hearing, my eyesight, my sense of smell, everything feels so foreign again. At one point, I was nervous, actually. I don't know if it was because of the energy drink that gave me heart palpitations, or if it was just because I was nervous and excited to be back in the bush. Probably about being excited about being back in the bush. I could spend every single day of my life, and that's one thing I don't think a lot of people realize. Seeing as our cat is flat, we might as well talk about all sorts of other things, is that when you try and live in the bush and you try to be a field guide or a chef that works in a lodge, you know, all these types of housekeeper, is that it's really a way of life, and typically more for the guides. You do give up a lot, and it's just one of those things. You can't half live in the bush. You really have to give 100% of yourself, and it's probably the most rewarding job in the entire world. I know how lucky I am to be in the position that I am right now, when all of us are, even Senzo, I'm sure, from spending only 50% of your time in the bush. You get it when you sort of, well, indulge in all this wonderful nature. So we're very, very lucky. Even the ladies in final control, when they get to go out on a drive here and there, it really does make it so special. So we really do love what we do. Like I say, it's not a job, it's a lifestyle. We've chosen to do exactly this. And yeah, sometimes you've got to be patient when you have a lion fast asleep. But as Byron would say, you know, Byron hates to talk about flat cats. And it's quite right, because you never know when they're going to wake up. Now imagine if something like a herd of buffalo came marching out of the thicket, though I don't think a herd of buffalo are going to be around today, just because I have yet to even see a buffalo track. However, a herd of kudu could quite easily come from behind Nsuku and might not see him because he's got a bit of coverage, and he could jump up and pounce on them. have a question from Christina, and the question is, do we follow the same animals or just the ones in a particular area? Well, this is where it's quite difficult, Christina. We would love to be able to follow the animals everywhere that they went. That's, of course, the goal. However, it's not how it works in most areas of South Africa. So we're in a private area at the moment, the Sabi Sand Wildtuin. It's a private game reserve. Yes, it is open to the Greater Kruger National Park, as the Timbavati and Thorny Bush, all these various areas, and well, of course, Buffels Hook. But the land within these private areas, so not the Kruger National Park, are owned by individuals. And in order to prevent sort of overpopulating an area with vehicles, you have traversing rights. So if you have an arrangement with various landowners where you traverse whatever that arrangement may be, it could be that you pay them monthly, or it could be that you swap traverses. So you say, okay, great, you can have 2 vehicles on my property at any one time, and vice versa, that type of thing. And unfortunately, we can't go everywhere. It's just one of those things. And the animals can, which is the most important thing. So we follow the animals for as much of the time as we can in the areas that we can follow them. But Christina, let me tell you, I promise you, the amount of times that the cats, for instance, have been on the property and we just haven't been able to find them, that probably happens more often than we think. We could go 2 or 3 days, say the Nkuhumas on the whole wide world. Well spotted. Oh, goodness, eagle eyes at the back over there. You're fantastic, Senzo. Sure, I thought you were going to show, I thought it was kudu. I had my heart set on kudu. Actually, let's go have a look at the elephant. We'll come back to him. He's... Oh, no. Oh, no. No. Please just show what Nsuku did. Absolutely nothing. I apologize about that. That's very awkward. I'm so sorry to have disturbed you, Nsuku, from your slumber. Oh my goodness. So Wendy is supposed to have her fuse for the Huta and the immobilizer and everything like that's supposed to be deactivated. However, I know that she's had a recent big service, and as you can imagine, the mechanics that come through and do our services, they check every nook and cranny. So they probably noticed that there was a fuse. I'm too scared to turn the car on again. Now I'm just going to hold the keys in my hand. We're not going so, we can watch the elephant because he's coming this way. Listen, buddy, you might want to turn around and look behind you. This could be quite a nice shot, eh? With our biggest giants walking across the dam wall, and of course a lion. So again, sorry about that. The mechanics have obviously replaced all the fuses that we intentionally removed, not realizing that this type of thing can happen. Wendy is known for it. We can all ask Jamie about her experience that she had while she was live to National Geographic. That was a funny moment, but like I said, the keys are staying in my hand, and I'm not going to put them back in the car until I don't know when. Again, you saw though, he lifted his head. He's not worried at all. He just sort of said, "That's very rude, Tayla. I was trying to sleep. I don't come past your room." Actually, payback. That's what I'm going to say. For the amount of times that the lions have roared at 2 o'clock in the morning and woken me up. Perhaps it's paid back. But I'm very excited to see my favorite animal. I didn't think we were going to see 2 of the big 5 together. Like I said, an African grey giant, not particularly bothered at all. Well, yes, I told you about him, Nsuku, and you didn't listen. See, both of them ignoring each other because they're a fair distance apart. Now, if this elephant bull were to come down and drink on the side of the dam, which we were on, I actually don't know if he's realized that this lion is here. He would have chased Nsuku. Nsuku would have had to, well, put his foot down. Now, Sinak, you're wondering if the Ellie was attracted by the horn. I don't know, maybe. I didn't think he looked like he was in must, but perhaps he thought, "Ooh, that's a different sounding elephant. I need to meet that girl." Sorry to disappoint you, big boy. It's just Wendy having a mild meltdown. So that was quite funny. But again, the elephant didn't react. The lion didn't react. They all just sort of gave me very dirty looks, so I do apologize. And that's just one of the most amazing things, Archer. Remember, these animals, well, well, they're not tame. They're completely wild. If I were to get out the car now, what would happen is Nsuku would probably run away because I would give him a fright. But if he was on a carcass, he'd probably turn and attack me. So it's always good to stay, of course, in the car. The elephant, he's the biggest animal in Africa. There's very few things that worry him other than people every now and then. But how entertaining was that? Well, that's a great welcome back and a great start for me. Tumba seems to be on the move again. I wonder what's got his attention. Perhaps it was the hooter. Let's go across to Tristan, and I wonder if Tristan heard Wendy having her meltdown. Tristan, you actually couldn't have said it better. I think we need to take a moment to appreciate the fantastic camera work from Sensor today, and I'm sure Sebastian is doing an absolutely sterling job too. But can you believe it? The sun is starting to set later and later, and we have to, well, wait for that beautiful golden hour, but it's definitely it now. We have got a lovely view of a backlit Nsuku, who really hasn't moved much except for the fact that he's now curled up in a ball. And I think that's because he's feeling a little bit chilly. It is cold. I actually said to Senzo at one point, I'm going to have to go back to camp to get another jacket, and then, well, that exciting incident describes that it was about I really thought that I was going to come back, because I seem to have not the greatest luck with the animals at times, but that's okay, I don't mind. It's just one of those things. But wow, what a welcome back. This is probably the best welcome back I've ever received from the animals. So thank you, Northern Sabi sand animals. That was great. And I hope that those Styx lions managed to catch something decent in size to fill their bellies. And I hope that the rest of the pride returns with all the little ones. I don't know where the little cubs have gone to. Quite unusual. I might actually have to have a chat to maybe Shanae at some point. And maybe I'll have to give her a call and find out when last all the Styx cubs were seen together, just to try and figure out. But let's not assume the worst. Sometimes this happens, and the cubs do get separated from the adults, but they normally find their way back. We actually had that incident last year. Most of you who have been watching for quite some time will remember that. And it was an amazing sighting. I think Brent actually had it with the return of the lost Styx cubs. It was really, really quite special. Now, Emeridal, you're wondering, their father, would they interact? I suppose it depends on the situation. If it was maybe, and also it depends on how old the lions were. That of course plays a huge part in it, because if they're about 3 years old, 2.5 years, 3 years old, they're not going to be tolerated by the males so much, regardless of whether they're their offspring or not, because they become potential threats. They threaten their position and their coalition, and they could be taken out. If it was young cubs, I actually don't know. I've never seen anything like that. It's an interesting question. So say, for instance, if the Birminghams came across those young lost cubs, I don't know what would happen. I've never seen a situation. I'm not sure. Or would they just act like male lions do and typically take out the young cubs? Because, you know, like I've just said, they want to invest all their time and sweat and tears and, well, urine as well into their offspring and not someone else's. So it's actually a very difficult one to answer, and I'll probably be able to answer that a lot better if I have a sighting and actually what would happen. You know, often what will happen is I have seen it before where the cubs have been left and male lions have come in to try and retrace the steps of the pride, and they've stumbled across all the litter of the young sink. We'll try and get a better view. I think I might go a little bit closer. We're quite far away, and hopefully our friend over here will wake up, as we've had so much excitement, and hopefully it continues throughout the night. But let's go across to Tristan and let's ask him the question, that I was just chatting about. It's the most gorgeous sighting. We sat with him while he got his beauty rest, and it has all absolutely. Let me quickly give it a shot. Yours, it's very nice backlighting if you want to come and park next to me. Oh, no ways. I'm just having a good laugh. Obviously, yours is one of the landowners in Buffelshoek, which is really amazing. And he takes the most incredible pictures. And he said this after, I said to him, why don't you come and park next to me? Because this backlighting is just absolutely stunning. We know lions are lovely golden color, but to get them in the golden light with the sky on fire, as it is at the moment, is not something that's a common occurrence. And he said, can you believe it? I don't have my camera with me this afternoon. Murphy's Law. But isn't that beautiful? And I hope that you're all taking as many screenshots as you can. Hashtag Safari Live. We love to see them, keep them, because in a year's time, I may call upon these pictures. That is amazing. That really, really, really doesn't get better than that. Okay, how's that? Chantal is saying in my ear, wow, wow, wow. I love my job. I love it even more. Well, I think we all love it the same, actually. That's incredible. This is really, really, really something so special. So incredible. And I think it's just quite fitting that we actually do have the wind day, because it has given his mane a lovely full look. And you'll know what it's like. All the women out there, all men, that blow dry their hair. I can't actually blow dry my hair because you must see what it looks like. I'll actually give Nsuku a run for his money with his mane. It goes very fluffy and very poofy. But isn't that gorgeous? That's as pretty gets. Perfect mane. I suppose he is a bit of a strawberry blonde, isn't he? Just sort of darkness at the back. His mane at the back seems to be quite dark, and then slightly darkening underneath the chest. But what a good looking lion. And I actually like the fact that he's got a couple of scratches. He is a lovely looking lion. Now I know there are so many. Oh wow, that just keeps getting better and better. And I say this all the time, I really wish that you were all sitting on the back of my vehicle with the wind gusting through your hair, not your ear, and just watching. And I think this is a perfect good time. Well, a perfect good time. Yep, that's how we speak English in South Africa. Let's do a one-word tweet. Send it in. What do you think? What word could you give to describe this magical sighting that we are witnessing at the moment? Hashtag Safari Live, and I'm sure there's going to be some good ones. Senzo, do you have a one-word tweet? But you must hashtag Safari Live, otherwise it doesn't go through. No, I'm joking. Wow. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. All I want to do is go with my camera as well. All of it. I promise you the allergies might come about in a moment if it carries on like this. Chantal says, I need it for Instagram. I need it for Instagram. Don't worry, Chantal, I think I may have got one or two, but now it's looking really, really quite spectacular. And actually, my camera was malfunctioning. All the technologies is not working today, but that's okay. At least you are all enjoying it. Look at that. Just absolutely wow. Now, a moment ago, obviously he was turning his head. He was looking south, not the direction that he's looking at in the moment. That was where the zebra are. He's looking north now. And I wonder if he isn't maybe smelling the Styx lions coming from the south. Like I said, the wind is coming from the southeast at the moment. Oh my goodness, Senzo, that is amazing. I don't even know what to say anymore. Right, I believe that there are a couple of responses for the one-word tweet. I thought a few of you might, of course, to describe a lion, majestic lions. Although, you can use that word for lots of different things, but it's very suiting this afternoon. Can I please have that name again? I'm so sorry, I missed the beginning part. Oh, come to reality. There we go. You say, awesome. This is an awesome-tastic sighting, isn't it? Like I said, you could go on and on and on and on. Someone gets the thesaurus out. Oh my goodness, I almost got tongue-tied on the word thesaurus. How ridiculous. and just completely blending into the vegetation. I'm still honestly amazed, and can you believe I'm about to say this? I hope that within the next couple of days I do get an opportunity to not have too much action and see what the vegetation is sort of looking like at the moment, because in just the few kilometers I've driven today, it's just, I can't believe the change. There's nothing left, it's bare, which is great for us, of course. It makes game viewing and finding animals a lot easier. But lions, you'll always be my favorite cat. Remember, hyenas are my second favorite animals, but I think lions come in at a close third. You have to have a lot of patience with them. You really do. But it always pays off in the end, doesn't it? Wow, look at that. Now, Mason, you're wondering how strong is a lion with our bare hands, and Impala would even give us a run for our money, but they can do it very, very, very easily. And I just think it's amazing. Now, until you see a lion taking down a large prey species for yourself, you can really only just take my word for it. But like I said, they take down giraffe, they take down the tallest animal in the world. They're able to bring them down. Young elephants, fully grown buffalo bulls, one of the most dangerous animals in Africa. They'll take down hippos. They'll go after too. So really, lions are a force to be reckoned with. You're a beautiful boy. Now, Michelle, you're wondering if it's hard for me to resist to go and snuggle with him? Not really. I don't actually know who I'd rather snuggle. I find the elephants very sweet and if anything, cute. I love the lions, of course, but I just know, like we were saying, how powerful they are and how sharp those teeth and claws are. So I'm okay with not snuggling them, and I don't think that they'd be good snugglers. I don't think that their coat is as soft and smooth as well what his mane looks like at the moment. I mean, it honestly does look like he's been to the salon and he's recently had his hair done, and that's not the case. I don't think you'd be able to run your fingers through his mane. I've never touched a lion before. I've actually never felt any of the big cats, and I'd like to one day, just for sort of purposes. I'd really like to have a look at their paws. So hopefully I'll be involved in some form of a game capture or perhaps research where they're doing blood tests on animals, that type of thing. That might be an opportunity to see these animals up close. But for now, it's okay, and I'm okay just sitting here watching them. I'd rather snuggle a dog and a cat that shows affection towards me. I did lots of snuggling of dogs today before I got here. Roshni, you've said that you'd love to snuggle this fella. He looks so dreamy. So shall we give him the nickname McDreamy? I suppose it's quite fitting. But like I said, it's a toss-up between him and Nena. Between who are the two, the most good-looking lions out of them all. Now, what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to share a photo with all of you later. I'm going to have to try and dig one out. So I love the Birmingham boys. They're really great, and they weren't my biggest. Well, I wasn't their biggest fan when they first arrived, but they've definitely grown on me. Now, there's one of the first reserves I ever worked at. It was a beautiful male lion. His name was Mondoro, and that is the most photographic, beautiful lion I have ever seen in my entire life. I'll try and dig up a photo that I took, but I wasn't really photographing back then, so I may even share a friend of mine's picture, and I'll just show you what a lion looks like. But now, well, no, obviously you all know what a lion looks like. Very important to finish all sentences for all the young ones out there. Don't do what I do and get distracted all the time. But what's really amazing, and the reason why he's so good looking, is because it's a private game reserve. It's fenced off, so he's not a free roaming lion like what we are looking at the moment. And this lion can go from here to Mozambique if he wanted to, or to Zimbabwe, no problem. Now, that's quite a big game reserve, 25,000 hectares, not small, and there weren't any other males at the time. His dad and his father and his father's brother, so his uncle, I suppose, unfortunately passed on due to old age. They lived for quite a long time, and anyway, he's on his own now. I think there's a younger up-and-coming male too, which will eventually take over. But he's beautiful. He has barely got a scratch on his face. Also, dark mane. He's from the his father. What's wrong with me today? His father was from the Kalahari, so typical dark maned lion. Really, really pretty. But I like character. I'm all for notches in ears, scars across eyes. I think it really sort of camera action, a good opportunity for you to all take some screenshots, because we don't get to spend too much time with Nsuku. He's a very laid-back lion, very relaxed, but they all are, of course, with the vehicles. So it seems to be a trend, perhaps. There's sleeping sickness amongst the cats. Tristan's with Tumba, and he's also decided to have a cat nap. You know, he's sat up again. I think he's in two minds about what he's going to do. His typical cat instincts are going, I just sleep for a little bit longer. Let's go have a quick nap. That's exactly what's going through his mind. But the other instincts are also kicking in. He's hearing things. His sense of smell is heightened. And I don't know why he didn't react to all those impala alarming. It's actually quite bizarre to me, because where he is sitting, that sound would have travelled straight towards him. There's no way that he couldn't have heard what was going on. Any other lion, even a leopard, would have got up and would have raced towards that commotion. But anyways, he didn't. He decided he was going to stay here. And I'm sure he's well aware. I'm sure he can smell that the lions are just on the other side. They seem to be moving west too, so it wouldn't surprise me if they pop out around Baboon Pan, or maybe even just a little bit further south of that, maybe just out of our sort of reach. So I don't know what he's going to do this evening. Maybe he's waiting to hear a roar from maybe the Nkuhuma Pride, or perhaps one of the other coalition members from the Birminghams, or even from the Sticks, and perhaps he'll decide then. But at the moment, he's just taking it easy. He's in no rush to go anywhere, and he's quite happy to pose for us, which is fine. It suits me, actually suits me quite well. He's been a gorgeous boy. Very lucky to be able to sit here. Every now and then the birds get quite close to him too, but he doesn't seem to be bothered by that. All tucked up again. It really does blend in with the vegetation at this time of the year. See that? He goes to put his head down and then he gets distracted by something. And that's the thing though, is when lions do sleep, we sometimes hear them snoring, which is quite funny and amusing. Even if they are snoring, they're still listening, they still know exactly what's going on around them, except when you're as quiet as a mouse and you run up and run into a lioness. I had such a laugh at that sighting, and I just think Tara was so lucky to experience something like that. So I'm glad that the animals behaved while she was here. It sounds like she got a good Africa fix. So that makes all of us very happy, especially when you travel that far. That was very brave of that mouse. I'm still convinced that it's some form of initiation. If it was a mouse or a bushveld gerbil, what confirm it. I think what my brother said to me the other day, I had a laugh at my younger brother. He said, if it happens 3 weeks in, isn't it a proved theory? I was like, probably not, but okay. He's a funny lad, that one. He's not particularly fat, so surely he's got food on the mind. Meter, now you've said that you actually make your children watch these live streams as part of their education. That is fantastic, and hopefully they learn a thing or two, probably from Tristan and the other presenters. Me, maybe not so much. Maybe I can just make you laugh. However, I think it's very important. So when I was growing up, obviously I was very lucky. We had a TV and I was allowed to watch TV, but actually I was quite good in the sense of educational. I actually preferred to watch National Geographic or BBC, all these shows that have various Documentations. An animated documentary. I don't even know. I just created a word. Maybe it's already a word there. I'm so good at doing these spoonerisms. It's so fantastic. Anyways, I used to watch a lot of the documentaries. I can't even say the word now because I feel like I'm saying it wrong. I'm just not going to say the shows that they make about animals. That wasn't live. I don't know what's wrong with me. Help, Chantal, help. I hope that you're giggling. Oh my goodness. Apparently I should go for English lessons as well while I'm on holiday. I don't know. I apologize. I think I'm just so excited. I'm so happy to be back, and not only has my team or our team been so welcoming to have me back, they're putting on a very good act and pretending that they're happy to have me back. They're great actors. I mean, I don't know why they haven't won any Oscars. And then of course all the animals have also proved that today. So I think I'm a little bit overwhelmed, which is something that you won't really see me, sort of the state that I would never really get there. Embarrassment, I think you've seen me get there once, and that was recently when I said reproduce instead of reposition. Yeah, that was so awkward. My dad still tells me about it. He said he watched that clip over and over and over again. My dad's a silent watcher, and he doesn't comment or participate or anything like that. He's not a fan of social media, but he said he found that absolutely hysterical. And I was like, I'm so glad you could laugh at my misfortune, you know. But anyways, beautiful. Look at the sky now. We went from, an orange skyline to now pink and blue. You said that, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna die of embarrassment again. You said it was fantastic to have me on the YouTube chat the other day. Oh, it was short-lived. It was quite funny though. I had a good laugh. It kept me entertained for most of the day. My mom actually came into my room because it was early-ish, I think, in the morning, and she said, "What are you laughing at?" And then I told her what had happened, and it was really quite funny. So yes, it was me. It was me. I'm too scared to go back to YouTube. I'm just teasing. I'll come back to YouTube. I promise. I absolutely promise. When I'm not driving again, I will not use Twitter so much because I'm forever on Twitter. I will give equal amounts to even the viewers that are watching on YouTube, because I forgot that you can actually. Absolutely hopeless when it comes to technology. That's why I'm a bush girl. I even struggle. I go home and I look at the TV remote and I'm sort of holding it the wrong way, and my dad just looks at me and says, no, turn it around. And then I try and change the channel, and I've muted everything. Hopeless. At one point my mom used to phone me often. She said, I don't know what I've done to the TV, and I'd have to try and guide her. I can't do that anymore. I get stuck. I phone my brother now. Something's happened with my mobile. I don't know how to do it, and he has to go through all the settings. Or when Connor was here, I just used to hand things to Connor. Connor, it's broken. I don't know, fix it for me, and then it'd be as simple as turning it on and off again. Never underestimate the power of turning things on and off. That's sort of my go-to thing now. Hey, Sensor, you do it with the cameras as well. Hey, just reset, and then normally works. It's fantastic. I'm in two minds now. What's the time here? Okay, so do we sit with him a little bit longer? He looks very content at the moment, Nsuku. Or do we go look for other things? I'm trying to, what Chantal says I must flip a coin. Hang on, wait. Let me search in my box of tricks. I might have a coin. I've got a passport. I've got notebooks. I've got sunscreen. I have to have a coin in here. I've got a feather. I have the scorpion torch. That'll be nice when the scorpions come back. No coins in that. I'm digging in my box of tricks now. Let's put the passport back though. I don't have a coin. Sensor, do you have a coin? Should I check my pockets? No, nothing. What can we flip? Should we dig in the tech box? Okay, right. I'm going to find something that we can flip to decide whether we're going to stay or go. Tumba has spotted something in the distance. We're going to infrared now. Sorry, Sensor was just off of the car. There we go. And we've got our friend who has done his first yawn. No, his second yawn. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I didn't realize that Nsuku had a broken bottom left canine. That's very interesting. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why I've never noticed it. Again, it's probably because I haven't spent much time with this lion, but you can see there, bottom left, just chipped just slightly. Now, this is a very good indication, as most of the time when they do start grooming themselves, when they start yawning, they're getting ready to move. Sometimes they fool us though, and they do trick us. It happens on a regular basis, but he's been sleeping for most of the afternoon, and now it's now time to shine, really. Now, Michael, you're wondering if he'll lose his teeth with age. Possibly. The more altercations he gets into with other lions, he could potentially damage his teeth. But I don't think he's necessarily going to lose them, as they'll fall sort of out. They'll definitely wear down to an extent, unless it's a serious injury and there's something that has gone wrong with the root, then the tooth might fall out. But in my experience, and just with looking at all the lions, you normally just see their canines are exceptionally worn and not quite as sort of sharp as the Birmingham Boys canines are. But I think Nsuku is the oldest. I reckon he must be about 7 years old, just with how full his mane is and the sort of size of his body. I reckon he's closer to 7, and I think Nena's not far off of it. And then Tinyo, slightly older than Mfuma as well. So apparently we've got some children watching today. That's fantastic. Not children, young adults. The 8th graders from Illinois were wondering how old he is. So it's very difficult for us to try and age these animals because we haven't actually seen the Birmingham Boys from birth. And the lions of the Nguma Pride, which is a pride of lions that we see on a regular basis, and they have their sort of home range in this area. We're lucky because we've watched their cubs when they were born, so we have a really good idea as to how old they are. So we sort of have to estimate. And we suspect the 4 Birmingham Boys, I don't think that they're necessarily all related. I think they're from different females from the same pride, and there is a slight age gap. Mfumo to me looks like he's the youngest. He's got the least developed mane, and so I think he must be around 6 now, 6.5, somewhere between there. And then, of course, Tinyo, just after that, probably a couple of months more, and then Nena and Nsuku, who seems to be, well, like I said, the most developed, the biggest mane for the moment. And even when we first started seeing the Birmingham Boys, you could sort of clearly see that Nsuku was definitely older than the rest of them. But they're in their prime now. They are the fittest and the healthiest and the strongest they're going to ever be. And this is their time to shine. So what we've done now, if you're wondering, if we have just joined us, wondering why we're in black and white, we're in infrared light. So this light doesn't affect the lions at all. So I don't have my spotlight, no car lights on at all. It's actually quite dark. I can really only see about 20 or 30 meters in front of me with my eyes now, but it will fade fairly quickly. And the infrared light is very important, especially when we have sort of sensitive sightings, such as, say, another altercation between Tingana and Tamba. We'll have the infrared on. You don't want to be putting a spotlight on either of those leopards because you don't want Tingana to have a better chance to find Tamba, or, sort of vice versa. And with hunting, it's incredible that we can sort of impact as little on the hunt. And by sitting in infrared in total darkness and sitting quietly, it's amazing. And normally we would do so with guests anyway. You would turn all your lights off and you just have to listen. And of course, everybody wants to see the action, and this way we're able to provide it for you. Now we need to sort of figure out which way he's going to go and what he's going to do. But for now, he's just going to groom himself a little bit. A couple of cubs in this area. It's hard to say exactly which females he's side sort of cubs with. I reckon the Styx cubs between him and Nena, because they seem to spend the most time. So the Styx Pride Alliance was that female and that youngster that we saw earlier today. And then I also think maybe the Torchwood Pride, which is another pride that sort of just hangs around slightly east of our traverse. We can't quite get there just yet. There you go. You can see he has to groom his nether regions as well. That's also very important. And I'm trying to think now. And then Tinyo and Mfumo, I reckon, probably Ngahuma Pride will be their cubs. But it's really difficult to say. All of the males, if they're around, and the females are in estrus, they'll take turns. They'll actually box with one another and have fights for dominance within the coalition. And one will be dominant for a few days and mate with a female, and then, you know, something could happen, tables could turn, another male comes in. So it's very difficult to really know whose cubs are whose, and when you've got a large coalition of lions. Obviously, if you've got one male lion within that area seeing that pride on a regular basis, then of course you can say sort of more accurately, yes, this male has sired these cubs. That's difficult to say, but they all had a chance to mate with the various lion prides within their territory. They're very lucky. They see lots of different prides, and that's very good for their genetics. Obviously, they want to pass on their genetics to as many different lions as possible within the area. What do you think he's going to do, Senzo? I'm not going to put the spotlight on him. I think let's just stay in infrared. We might as well. If we can put less of a light on an animal, it actually makes me a lot happier. Not that he's bothered by our spotlights at all, but again, we're sitting at a watering hole. We know sometimes some of the more shy animals come down in the evenings to have a drink, and you know, even if it's something like a Deka or a Steenbok or whatever it may be, deciding to come down and have a drink, we don't want to put the spotlight on him anyway. And again, what happens if Tumba is in the area too? Or what happens if Tingana comes this way? We want to try and keep everything as natural as possible. And I think infrared is most certainly the way. Obviously, they'll hear me talking, but these animals see us and hear us all the time. There we go. Big stretch. Oh, you all know what a great stretch feels like first thing in the morning. There we go. Where are you going? Let's see. You're going to walk past us. It looks a little bit stiff. That's what happens when you sit in the same spot for so long. Probably got pins and needles. Look, he's going to walk right up to the car. There we go, he's just walking past the car. There is another vehicle in the sighting. They might put a spotlight on him. I'm going to leave our spotlight off of him. There he goes. So I think, don't worry, I don't think he's particularly sore. I think he's just stiff. Let me reposition. Just from, of course, I need to put some light on so I can see where I'm going. But let's go down this way. So I'm just covering my eyes from the presenter light because I can't see what's happening. It blinds me, and I sort of need my eyes. Oh, he's walking right past the other car. Let's get in front. If you ain't first, you're last. Good old Ricky Bobby quotes, hey? I've obviously watched way too many movies on my holiday. Senzo, please can I turn that light down just a little bit, if that's okay? It's a little bit too hectic. There we go. I'm not used to the light again. Here he comes. He's starting to loosen up now too. Let me turn my lights off. Oh, you're a beautiful lion. There he goes. Just walking in front of the car. Now, he's going straight into the Mulwati. No, now he's stopping in front of my car. And he's also indecisive in this moment as to what he's actually going to do. He's a big cat. He's a very, very big cat. He's listening. Very important for these cats to listen to him. They've got incredible hearing that will determine if he hears another lion. John, you're wondering what I think he thinks of humans. I have absolutely no idea. The day that I learn how to speak lion, I promise I'll let you know. But for now, in the car, he doesn't associate us as humans, I don't think. I think we're very neutral to them. We don't behave as humans normally behaved, or as they used to behave. What's happened? Has our light gone off? Sorry, we seem to have run into technical difficulty. I don't know, when Senzo leveled the camera, something went wrong. So I'm not sure, sorry, Senzo's trying to work on it. I'm not actually sure. Out in the car, they don't like us, but we also look like a threat. We look like a predator. He's going into the Mulwati now. Chantal, we need to sort of figure out what's gone on with the infrared. I can see it's flashing. It's going on and off. So I think there's a shortage or something like that. We're trying to figure out exactly as to what's gone on. So we're going to quickly try and just figure out what's going on with this light. But let's go across to Tristan and see if he's still got Tingana.